All right, hello class. I was helping a student today on September 14th. I was helping him out with questions from 1.1, and there may have been some small gaps in the videos that I gave you. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe talk you through some of these videos. Sorry, some of these questions. So first of all, when you're working on this, make sure you do file make a copy. Now look at this, copy of 1.1. I don't want the word copy of. I'm going to get rid of that. And then put your name. I'm going to put Dwayne. And I'm gonna just go ahead and save that. So now I saw a student working today, and he had his answer. He would just start typing his answer. See where my cursor is right here? He would start typing the answer as part of the question. But what I'd want you to do is hit enter. Leave a little gap under each question, and please always do that. And so anyway, it says here, you're in the My Documents window. The list of folders and files is too small to read. List the steps you would take so you could see things easier. So I'm going to hit Windows key E, and I'm going to show you what I think that means. If I was to look here and see if maybe this is too small to read here. I mean, there's a couple ways you can interpret this. Oops. Sorry. There's a couple ways to interpret this. Like one guy had an answer, just make the window bigger. Okay, maybe you can see better. I guess that would work. But what I think the answer is up here. It's the More Options button. So what I want you to know, when you're looking at your files in Windows Explorer, you got this More Options. You could look at tiles here, details, list, small icons, large, and just huge icons. So I think that's the answer here. It's right here. It's this More Options. It changes the look of your files when you're browsing through Windows Explorer. So for question 1, the answer to me, I think, would be to use More Options and choose a larger file icon size. So I'm not going to write that out. I want to see if you can kind of write that down as part of your answer. And so let's move on. Question 2, in the My Documents window, you're looking at it. You're looking for an Excel file, but can't remember the file name. It would be easier to find all the Excel files if they were grouped together. So I have 2 answers to this. Again, check this out. If I do the search up here and I say star.xls, in a way, that's going to just filter out all the other files, and I'm just going to see my Excel files. But that I don't think that idea of doing a search with the star character was part of your tutorial. So I'll show you another way. If I got a bunch of files in here, look, there's some green ones here, here, here. They're all apart from each other. How do I kind of bring them all together? I'll show you. Go to the More Options, go Details, and then under Details, you can sort the files by file name, so they'd be alphabetically sorted, date, okay, and type. So this is cool. When you hit type, it puts all the text files together, it puts all the documents together. Look at this. And look here. All the Excel files are grouped together because you're grouping and viewing your files by type. So I think that's the answer. So for question 2, the answer is go to your More Options, go to Details View, and then sort your files by type by clicking the Type column header. So that's pretty deep. If you can answer that and write down what I said, Details, Type. And then look, all the PDF files are grouped together. So if you're looking for PDF, why look when they're randomly sorted by file name? See how all the different file types? Well, you can force them to be grouped together. So that I think is the answer to question 2. Let's take a peek at question 3. List the steps you would do to create a new folder. I think that was well explained in your resources. Essentially, if you want to make a new folder, you say File, New Folder, or right-click in a white area there and say right-click New Folder, give it a name. Question 4 says, oh, you gave it the wrong name. How would you rename a folder? Well, again, I'm not going to write this down. You can write it, but you would right-click the folder and rename it. Okay. List the keyboard method for starting Windows Explorer. I really hope you somehow knew this, but it's going to be Windows key and then E. So right now, if you hit the Windows key on your keyboard and E, you are going to open Windows Explorer. Okay, Windows key E. I use this every day, all day. Now, I feel bad if you have a Mac, you know, that's not the answer. You know, I'm assuming you're using a Windows PC. Okay, so I'm at the 5-minute mark. I could go 15 minutes on this, but I'll try to skim through it a bit. That is an important answer. In fact, I'm going to highlight it for you. Number 6. You are in the My Computer window. With a single action, how do you change to Windows Explorer? I had a talk with a student about this, and here's the My... Oh, I don't know if you can see this. There's the My Computer icon. I'm going to double-click it. When I double-click My Computer in Windows 7, this is Windows Explorer. So that question's almost silly. I'm going to answer. I would almost answer question 6 that My Computer is Windows Explorer. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking with it. Question 7. So you got these files. List steps you would take to select both the resume and the committee meeting. So guys, I think that was covered in the tutorials, but the key to select 2 separate files that are beside each other is to hit Control. So you would hit Control on your keyboard and click Resume, and then you hit, while you still have Control held down, you click Committee Meeting. And then you select both, and then you can copy them or drag and drop them. So it's very, very good to know that. So the key there is to hold the Control button down. Question 7b, list the steps you would take to select everything from resume to committee. So to select resume to committee, you could select resume, and then you could hold Shift Control and click the last one. So what that would do is highlight. I'll give you an example. If I want to highlight all these here, I could click one here, and then Shift Control Word Processor Overview. Look, I've gotten everything in between. So the answer there for 7b is Shift Control. So you click the first one, and then the last one. While you click the last one, you click Shift Control, and that would select everything in between. Question 8, list the steps to move letter.doc file into the Word Documents folder. So you've got to realize this question is kind of referring to this here, and also the folder you had made. So it's kind of backtracking a bit. You've got to be kind of clever there. The way you would do that is just drag and drop it. That's what I would recommend. Point at the letter.doc file icon and just drag it by left-clicking and drop it into the folder. If you could write that down, that's the right answer. Number 9, list the steps to copy resume file, resume.doc file to a floppy disk. Now, that's kind of silly. This is out of date. You know, really, you should say a USB thumb drive. The floppy disk has gone the way of the dodo bird. So what you would do, okay, I'll show you with a real life example here. If I wanted to take this file and put it into maybe not my USB, sorry, not my floppy disk, but my USB, I could drag it to my USB. Okay, so there's my USB drive over here. Okay, so if I want this file, I could drag it to USB. Or this is really cool. Here's another way. Right-click, Send To. And this Send To option always gives you your removable drives. And in this case, it's my USB, my E drive. Okay, so that's the answer there. List the steps to copy it to your floppy disk. Really, that's a bad question. I should say USB thumb drive there. I'm gonna update that. Number 10, list the steps to display a dialog box containing information about the Word Documents folder. including attributes. Okay, so if you have a folder somewhere, you could just look at this, guys, right-click properties. And this is all kinds of information about a folder. And again, it's right-click the icon properties. Okay, very useful to know. Question 11, create the following folders on your computer or in Google Docs, and then take a screenshot by hitting print screen on your keyboard and then paste the image. So let's see, I'm at 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that, just in case you don't know. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, so I'm going to say drive.google.com. I'm already signed in. Now, if you guys have a Google Drive, you probably have a brand new drive. You probably don't have a lot of stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and go in a little folder here with less stuff. And right now I can say new folder. And I can call this unit 1 dash word processing. There's the folder. And then I could do new folder and do unit 2 digital literacy. Just put it short there. I could say new folder, unit 3. This would be unit 3 is about is it PowerPoint and Excel. So I have 3 folders, and I'm going to make a 4th one. Oops. I'm going to make a 4th folder here, a new folder, and I'm going to hit unit 4 dash hardware and ergo. Okay, so there you have it. I've made 4 folders that are all well named. And what I want you to do as the course goes on is keep your files for each unit in those subfolders. And how do you do that? You just drag and drop. There, I got my files. I'm going to hit print screen on my keyboard, which is almost in the top right of my keyboard. It's a print screen button. And then if we go back to the questions, you could paste. So watch, Control V, paste. So this, if you can make those folders and paste here, that proves to me you know how to make folders. Okay, so file management is very important. There's all kinds of resources online to learn about these things, but I thought I would help you, kind of help you out a bit with some very detailed discussion on each of these questions. So I hope that makes this a lot easier, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.